Hello plant community, thanks for tuning into this channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Pam, and for those of you that's been traveling along with me during my crazy plant journey, thank you for coming back. So real quick guys, if you could tell from the thumbnail, I thought it'd be kind of fun for me to pick up the top plants that I really admired for 2022. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to break it up in genus. Now, granted, if I had to count or guess, I have at least almost about 250-ish plants in my collection, and I just thought it would be very fun to break it up by genus. I think it would make it a little bit hard for me to pick. So let's just jump right into it, and y'all let me know whether or not if any of my selections, did I surprise you, or did you figure that I would pick these in my collection? So let's jump into it. What I want to do, and I'm pulling out my phone so I can keep track of the genuses that I want to talk about. So it's going to be a total of 12, you guys. Ironically, it was 12. Trust me, it was not by design. It just happened to be 12. Now, some of the genuses, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to include it into this particular a ceremony, so to speak, to end 2022 because one, I didn't have many different varieties in this genus, or I just recently acquired it and it just wouldn't be fair for me to put it in this plant competition, so to speak. So I'm going to kind of like work my way from like the smallest group and then end it with the largest group that I do have in my collection. So this first one is just a total of 4, you guys. I know it's probably some succulents and string ofs, but I categorize this as my string of category, which only consists of 4 plants, and that would be my string of turtles, my string of hearts, my ruby necklace, and my ruby cascade. So the one that I picked for 2022, giving me joy all the time, believe it or not, would be my string of hearts. And by the way, you guys, this is my first time kind of filming at night. You know, I filmed directly coming home after work, so I'm kind of like working with what I have. So if it's not clear, I believe that it is, but if it isn't as clear as you would like it, I apologize in advance. Now back to our regular scheduled program. So this, you guys, I picked the string of hearts right here. And I gotta admit, you know, I was falling out of love. If y'all been watching me throughout this year, I was falling out of love with my string of hearts because it was growing like a weed this past summer, but it was starting to look scraggly looking, it looked dried out and things like that. And one of you guys, thank you by the way, had recommended that we need to start watering these string of hearts a little bit more regularly than what we as a plant community thought to be. And you know what, I actually changed my water regimen for this plant, and ever since I've done that, it has been providing me with that beautiful luscious hue and just the growth that I've always wanted out of this. And I kind of took the scraggly parts, I cut it back tremendously, you guys. I really did. I cut it back, and some parts I kind of draped on top. My goal is to try to make it a little bit fuller. It's not as full as I would want it to be at the top, but it has been shooting out new growth. And like I said, it's now giving me these beautiful luscious hearts, and I just love it so much. It's just brought the joy and the passion, the reason why I brought this plant in the first place. So this is the string of hearts. Gotta get my phone, you guys. Give me a second. Now my next one, my next category is actually going to be my peace lily. This is also a small collection that I do have as well, which makes it even harder for me to pick. You know, peace lilies across the board, you guys, is just a very easy care plant. I love all of them so much, but the one that really like is pulling at my heartstrings now, and really I would say for the majority of the time throughout the course of this year, you guys, would actually be, if you guessed it, you guessed right, my platinum mist. I mean, guys, can you see why I picked this baby? Now, some of my choices for my plants, you guys, will be based upon not growth in particular. Growth will play a part, but not a major part. What's really pulling at my heartstrings for 2022, you guys, is not only just appreciating the beautiful foliage that these plant babies provide, but the joy that has been given me as far as the care, whether or not if they've given me any type of problems, or even if they did give me problems but they came back as a fighting plant. I'm just like, and this is one of the plants where, I mean, it's the growth is just stunning. And like I said, here we are in the winter season, you guys, and it is still blooming this beautiful bloom. And it's very wide, and it really gives me that peaceful jungly vibe that we're all after, right? I mean, I just love it, and I had to put it on the list. Now, you guys, you know I must really love you, because a lot of these plants, I say about 50% of these plants is inside my house, and it was kind of a struggle bringing them in here, but I'm doing it for you guys because, you know, I love this plant community. I just hope that I don't have a casualty in the midst of me trying to put some of these plants back into my home. Sometimes the behind the scenes, you guys, is be real. So let me get to the next one. Okay, my begonia. Let's talk about that. Very small collection as well. I have a total of 4, which out of the 4, 2 of them is more or less a duplicate of propagation of mine that was successful. So y'all probably already guessed off the bat. If y'all, like I said, been watching my videos, you probably already know the one that I picked. That never disappoint me no matter what. I haven't had any issues. I just love it. Totally vigorously growing. Pumped out flowers like crazy. And it is my beautiful Begonia Maculata. You know, remember this guy that used to be up here that toppled over and kind of like got so top heavy? I mean, guys, let me just turn it around. Those red backs, I mean, guys, comment below too. Are you a red back lover? Because I don't know what it is. It's like something about the backs with those beautiful colors. But I mean, just look at that angel wing shape. It's just so beautiful with the polka dots. And this right here, you guys, look, once again, like I said, vigorously growing. Even though we are in the winter season, look at that leaf. It's just unfurling. And I mean, I have new growth unfurling right here, and this right here, you guys, is just one coming out. I mean, it's just constantly going. And I mean, and I just noticed, you guys, just from me pulling my plants out, I can't show it to y'all because it's too short and I don't want to risk pouring out the soil, but inside the pot, it's actually a whole new little stalk that's starting to grow out. So outside of these long stalks right here, I'm getting ready to have another stem to add to this beautiful collection. I'm so excited. I just can't wait for this upcoming growing season. So let's see. Don't want to have any casualties. Alright. I'm so sorry. My daggone phone keeps... Alright, so the next one. The next one, you guys, is actually going to be my Pothos. And I've had probably a total of 5. And the one that I chose, you guys, is actually hanging in my bedroom. And that is the Cebu Blue Pothos. So take a look real quick as to why I chose this one. Okay, so I picked the Cebu Blue Pothos, you guys, for obvious reasons. I mean, just look at it. It's just been growing non-stop for me ever since I brought it. I brought it in like a 4-inch pot, and it has been trailing ever since, to the point where I actually looped some of the trails in the top here, you guys. Let me see if I can show you without messing up the plant. But you see how full it is? And I mean, the texture on it is beautiful. It does have that nice bluish hue to it. I mean, who could actually deny it? So this, of course, it had to be on my list for 2022. Okay, so my next one, you guys, that I'm actually picking, let's see, my Scindapsus. Now I have about probably 6 Scindapsus in my collection, I would say. Of course, I have the Exotica, I have the Argyrius, the Silverian, I have with a sterling silver and just a couple of others. But the one that has been just like, every time I walk past it, every time I look at it, I'm just feel bottled up with joy. It's actually my jade skin dapsers, you guys. And let me just pull this baby. And I mean, I have this plant is sitting on the floor in my dining room, you guys. It's getting direct light from my Sansi light. But guys, look at it. It's just growing so nicely. And have it sitting on the floor, you guys, and I just look at those leaves. I love that matte color. The leaves are shimmery. It's jade, but it also has, from what I can see, like a small tinge of like silver that's going through it. And I mean, it's just been growing like a weed for me, you guys. And look at that. This leaf is trying to unfurl once again. Another vigorous grower, even though we are in the winter season. And who cannot appreciate a plant that still wants to keep on activating itself during dormancy period? I'm very impressed with this plant. I love it so much. So one more. This is also, let's see if I can show y'all without damaging the plant. But guys, look at this. This is a new leaf. Look how shimmery and shiny it is. I mean, it's just a beautiful specimen. It's like, oh. And you know what's so cool about this plant too? I've been debating. I think I'm going to leave it alone because, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But I think this would really look nice on one of a wood plank where it's actually flat up against the plank. And maybe I will do that to see where the leaves, how the leaves will start to change if I can get bigger leaves. But even if I didn't, you guys, I'm just satisfied with what I'm seeing right here. It's just such a beautiful plant. It's so big. I love it. My next one in the category, let me move that out the way, is going to be my Aglinema. And I did a count. I think I either have either 6 or 7 different Aglinema specimens. This was another hard choice for me because really I haven't had any problems. Knock on wood. I hope me doing this video does not jinx these babies come in 2023. I really hope that's not the case. But with my peace lilies, you guys, I really have not had any issues. They communicate very well when they need something to drink. They can take all types of different lighting situations as long as you're not putting them in too dark of a corner. The variety of colors are just spectacular, and you know, I really appreciate this species for the beautiful foliage that they do provide us with. So the one that I picked, let me just show you. My Silver Bay. I had to... This pot is cute, ain't it? But I had to pick this Silver Bay Aglinema. I am a sucker. Outside of the red backs, you guys, I am also a sucker for the silver leaves. And I mean, guys, and look, it's already, you see that? It's already unfurling again. This is sitting on one of my tables in my dining room where it is getting some light from the window. And I just give up on telling y'all the direction of the lights because I think I be switching it up every time I talk to y'all about the direction of the windows, and I do apologize for that. But it is sitting underneath by a window where it's getting some dapple light, and it's also getting light from my Sansi light. And I mean, and it just looks so cute in this beautiful pot planter thing. So funky. She got funky hair, you guys. But just look at that. Look at that leaf. Oh, so beautiful. Such a stunning plant. It really does give you like that watermark brush on there. I am in awe of it, and it just speaks to me every time I walk by. I just love it so much. In 1 second, you guys, like I said, my goal is not to have any casualties while making this video. So the next group, you guys, that I grouped together, I call them, I guess, Dracaenas, which at this point everybody should know, or if you don't know, it also incorporates our snake plants as well. And let's see, if I had to guess, I have a total, if you include that, I have a total of 8. Now, the one that I actually picked, snake plants, let's just talk about Dracaenas and snake plants in general. Very easy care. They grow nicely for you, different shades and hues of color and structure. But this plant right here, you guys, I have to pick it. And this is just my cup of artwork for you guys. Like, it had to be the Sansevieria fernwood. I mean, from afar, you know, you're like, oh, this looks like some grass blowing. But, I mean, it is, I think I paired it well too in this pot, but it's not about the pots, you guys, it's about the foliage, right? But, like, look at the foliage, you guys. I really love this. And I have to bring a mention of the pot, because when you sit this, it's such a staple piece. It's like a piece, a conversation piece where you can actually like, wow, this is cool. What kind of snake plant is this? I just love how it's just growing wild, like as if it's being blown in the wind. It's such a beautiful, I don't know, specimen. Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know. Do y'all have the fernwood? Dracaena fernwood, I guess. And are you loving it as much as I am? I mean, this is just a cup of beauty. No pun intended, but it really is a cup of beauty. And I'm just loving it. Like, wow, so amazing. But let me get back to the list. Okay, I don't think, how many more do we have left? We have a couple of more left. Okay. So my next one, you guys, is actually going to be my Syngoniums. In my Syngonium collection, I believe I have maybe 7, possibly 8. And Syngoniums, I've just recently, acquired the love of Syngoniums in the beginning of this year and started building on that collection. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to still continue to build more, add more Syngoniums to my collection. There are a couple I wouldn't mind getting to add to, but let me just show you the one that made it for this 2022 list. The Cardi Road. Now, I know I just did a video not too long ago up showing my Syngonium collection. Now, you guys, be honest, was you surprised that I picked this one? Of course not, because, bam, I love those red backs. Y'all know how I feel. And that dark leaves are stunning. I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking. Like, and like I said, it's very easy care. I haven't had any problems with it so far. So good, as long as I make sure that the top inch of the soil is not dry and I give it ample lighting. It's just growing non-stop for me. And I think it's funky. It does, even though it's a dark leaf compared to a lighter green leaf, juxtapose that, it really pops. Doesn't it pop? It really pops in your collection for me. And I mean, that's just one of the reasons why I picked this particular one, because of the color. It really is, it speaks to me the loudest out of my entire collection, believe it or not. And I feel so bad because I love all my plant babies almost the same. You know, doing this, you guys, quick sidebar, it's almost like picking your favorite child. Like, who does that? But like, you know, that's what it seems like when you're trying to do these groupings for your plant babies. But nonetheless, I do love this Cardi Road. If you don't have one, you guys, you should go out and get one. The price is coming down now. They're not as expensive as they used to be. So keep an eye out on this if you haven't gotten one already. Now, my next one is my Peperomia. Now, I try not, like I said, I didn't want to group them all together and do all this counting, because if I really knew how many plants I had and be responsible for, probably would wind up giving me some form of a panic attack, because then I'd be like, oh my God, I'm responsible for all these babies. Like, you know, so I try not to focus too much on the numbers, but I believe peperomias, I have a good 8 of them. And this one that I picked, you guys, is because of color. Well, my peperomias, I can say for the most part, haven't really had too many issues with them. Maybe one here and there, which did not make it to this list at all, of course. But this one that I'm about to show you guys is no fuss, very easy care. It's giving me the foliage that I love. The shape of the leaves, the color, and let me just show you. It's my Peperomia Guinea. And I bet you a lot of you may have thought that I was going to pick that beautiful Peperomia Hope. And be honest with you guys, I was like on the fence a little bit, tugging and pulling. But you know what? I wanted to also take this opportunity to shine the light on some of the plants that I don't talk about. Now, this plant does pull at my heartstrings. I have it actually sitting on my windowsill in my kitchen, and I water this thing probably every 10 days or so, and it lets me know because the leaves will feel thin. Right now it's well watered. I watered this plant I think yesterday, and so the leaves do feel thick. But you guys, I'm just really loving the structure of this plant. First of all, the structure of the leaves, the hue. So you have creaminess with this beautiful green. Let me see, the beautiful green, and then it's outlined in like a pinkish hue color. Hopefully the camera is picking that up. I really can't tell. And then also the stalks or the stem itself, these stems right here, is actually a pinkish hue as well. So it's providing you guys with beauty. It's compact. It has been getting a little wide, as this type of variety is known for doing, but I mean, guys, also too, it's affordable. I can't remember how much I paid, but probably like, I think I honestly paid probably under 10 bucks for this. And this, I mean, you can pretty much find this almost anywhere. And I got it, I think it was like $5.98 or something like that. I can't even really remember, but guys, look at it. It's just so beautiful. I just love it. Let me know what y'all think about this one. Do you have this in your collection? It's an easy care for you. I mean, I don't know. I just wait for the soil to completely dry. Leaves start to get a little thin, or they start looking a little wilted, and I give it some water. In a few hours, or maybe the next day, it pops back up. No issues with pests or anything like that. So I just love this plant. Now let's see. Okay, down to the last 3. Drum roll. A little drum roll. Down to the last 3. My next one is going to be my prayer plants, and I believe I did show you guys my collection not too long ago. But if you haven't seen it, you guys check that video out. It's very informative, fun, and a nice little collection with different colors and structures. But I do believe for my prayer plants, I have a total of 8. I was on the fence with picking 3 that's equally pulling at my heart, but I had to shine the spotlight on this one. It goes without saying. And this is my variegated, what's this? Miranda Lucanora, the variegated one. You guys, for obvious reasons. First of all, if you are loving that rabbit paw print, I mean, that's beautiful in itself. By itself is stunning, but then it has the subtleness of the variegation in its leaves. I mean, look at that. Look at this creaminess, this creamy, beautiful color with the dark paw, and it has like splashes of the cream in the leaves. It is just gorgeous. This plant has flowered for me in the growing season. It has not given me any problems whatsoever. And of course, it's maintaining the leaf size. I mean, I even have it up on this little trellis thing to kind of control it, you guys, because if I was to let it go, it would be really wide, way wider than what you guys are seeing right here. I mean, it is just a beautiful, beautiful plant. I upped it a little bit in this pot, but look at the roots growing out of this pot. And I may have to up it come next growing season. I don't know, but you guys, it is just a beautiful specimen. And I mean, it goes well with the white pot. Look at that. I mean, guys, it's so easy care. I literally have it sitting in here in my sunroom underneath on the shelf where it's getting some light from this southeast facing window, but it's getting light from on top, and it's dampened light because it's being covered by other plants that's on top. So I think I'm doing a good job with trying to create that forest so like, what is going on? Forest floor way of growth. And also too, you guys, let me show you this. I have new growth right here, and I just love that flute-like structure that they make when the new growth comes in. Beautiful plant, you guys. Now, I'm down to the last two, you guys, that, woo, really was hard. Okay, next one is Hoya. Now, of course, you guys, I have a ton of Hoya in my collection, and I think I did a count on this. Yeah, I have 28 Hoyas. Now, the 28 Hoyas may be consistent or an actual combination of some propagations, but for the most part, they're all different. This was extremely hard for me because y'all know at this point, it took me a while to actually admit it, but I gotta admit that I am a Hoya head, and it was really, really hard for me to pick because of the ones that I acquired that was on my wish list, just the ones that's flowered for me, the ones that's been growing wild for me, and I had to go with the one that was really speaking to me the most at this time. So the Hoya that I picked for the best one in my collection for 2022, you guys, is my Hoya Fungi, the seedling. Guys, I don't know what it is. Look at this. You see that? I don't know what it, okay, it's reaching for the light, you guys, in here. And it's so funny, I have it sitting on the shelf right here by the window, but it's actually this way, and so it's actually going for my Sansi light. It's kind of crazy. And of course it would, because the sun isn't as bright as it would be in the summertime, so I can kind of understand that. But you guys, look at this. I'm just loving this plant. It like speaks to me so much. I love the shape of the leaves. The leaves feel kind of like leathery on the top, but a little slightly fuzzy on the bottom. You can see the veination in it, which is subtle, but it's still, when you put it up against the light, you can actually see just like an x-ray version of it. And I mean, look, I'm just like, look like I'm peeking out at something, but this is just so gorgeous. It's growing. And it's growing out all these, like I said, tendrils. I've wrapped it around this trellis numerous of times. And the funny part that I really can't wait, and I'm hoping that maybe in the growing season it will do its thing, but I have noticed that it has been growing out peduncles. Like, it's one literally right here. And I actually have a couple other peduncles that's kind of growing along here. So I think it does want to flower for me. I don't if it flowers for me, you guys, I definitely will post it to y'all and let y'all know. But I really don't think that it is, since we are, you know, in the winter time dormancy period, whatever you want to call it. But guys, I mean, do y'all like this? Do y'all have the fungi? And this is the seedling. Do you have this plant in your collection? And if so, does it bring your heart so much joy? Are you so excited every time you look at it? Does it speak to you directly? It speaks to me directly. And oh man, it is. I'm probably using the same words all the time, but this is a stunner, man. This is sexy. This is a sexy plant, man. You are a sexy plant. Gotta appreciate the sexy plants, right? Okay, so now we're down to the last one, you guys. Of course, you probably should know. Philodendrons. Yes, philodendrons, for the most part, is the major, I guess, genus of my plant collection. I have so many philodendrons in my collection. I was even surprised when I did a count. I have 45 philodendrons in my collection. And who could knock having that amount, right? Because philodendrons is like the top tier of plants to have for plant enthusiasts such as us, right? And they're easy care. They're different varieties. They have so many different variegations, shades of color, the structure. They could be trailing down, they climb up, they could be rosette, like, I mean, it goes on and on. So this selection, honestly, you guys, probably was my most challenging one. I mean, I really walked around and I thought about it good and hard, because all of them was pulling at my heartstrings at the same time. It's almost like kids raising their hands saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. And I mean, it was like, like what to do. But I had to go with my gut feeling. And I picked this plant, before I show it to you, I picked this plant because this plant has just nonstop. Ever since I brought this plant, you guys, it's just been growing non-stop. I've never had any issues with this plant. I've never had any pest problems. I never had any drooping of the leaves. I never had any discoloration of the leaves. I never had any dryness of the leaves. I never had any issues, and I hope, please Pam, don't jinx this plant just by saying this, because I don't know. But you'll be happy to know that the plant that I chose is my philodendron. You may be surprised. Burrow marks. You guys. It's so big I can't even fit it in the frame. Look at this. I had to take it out. I have this plant sitting on my floor in my dining room, and it's actually in like a basket plant stand. And you guys, I can't even, I mean, guys, look at this. And let's see, look at it, and it's still growing. It's still giving me, unfurling this leaf right here, and this right here is a new growth point. And let's see if I can turn it around. Whoa. This is the newest leaf. It's just been growing so wild, you guys. So funky and so beautiful. Like I said, look at the leaves. The light is really making it, letting you see the shininess of the leaves, but the leaves are so healthy. And I just realized, wow, it's like multiple growth points. I mean, I have a growth point right here, but if you turn it on the back, I mean, I don't even know if you can see the back. As you can see, you guys, I am sitting, this side is mainly, I guess, at the wall area, but this is mainly the front. And I mean, it's getting nothing but light from my Sansi light, and it's a good amount of ways. It has several feet. It's several feet away from a window, and it's just, I don't know, it's just growing, and I just love the foliage. It's just so beautiful and so stunning. Can you understand why I would pick this plant, or are you disappointed, or are you surprised, or you just thought that maybe I would pick something else? This is one of my oldest plants too, you guys. I got it when it was in like a 5-inch, I think I want to say actually a 4-inch pot, and it's just, like I said, it's just been growing like a weed. It just never ceased to amaze me. It's just stopped, and I'm just in awe of this plant, and I just wanted to shine the spotlight on something that maybe, you know, this was the plant that people was talking about. Now it's kind of like losing its luster, but it hasn't lost its luster in my personal opinion. So drop a comment, you guys. Let me know, would you have picked any of these plants? Do you agree? As far as why these plants are like my top faves for 2022. I can't wait to see what these plants is going to do. Oops, I thought my plant was about to fall. I can't wait to see what these plants are going to do in the growing season for 2023. And I just can't wait to also bring you guys along. So this pretty much wraps up this video, you guys. I had fun really doing this. As always, I do appreciate talking to you guys. So y'all want to keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do, and you love listening to planting things, you know what to do. Subscribe to this channel, you guys. We're having a lot of fun over here. Give me big thumbs up, guys. I need those thumbs ups to come up. That'll help promote my channel. That'll help get this channel up and bring it up to the next level. That's my goal. That's what I want to do in 2023, and I want to bring you guys along. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world, and until next time, guys, much love. I see you in the new year.